Hey, one more thing before you go. Are you feeling a little off? Has your recent life been feeling a little chaotic? Has your computer or your dishwasher suddenly decided to backtalk you and go to hell in a handbasket? Happened to us. You may be experiencing the effects of Mercury in retrograde. Mercury in retrograde is a relatively common astronomical event and a phenomenon that occurs when planet Mercury appears to be moving backward in its orbit around the sun. In this episode, we're going to explore the science and the superstition behind Mercury in retrograde. It always affects us, doesn't it, Diane? And
Yes.
see if there is any truth behind it, which we believe there is. So join us as we deep dive into this mysterious phenomenon. Welcome to One More Thing Before You Go Over the Teacup Sunday with Michael and Diane. I'm your host, Michael Hurst, and I'm here with my lovely co host and wife, Diane.
Hello. Happy Sunday.
To truly understand what Mercury in retrograde is, let's take a step back and look at how the planets move. You see, all of the planets in our solar system, including Mercury, orbit around the sun. As this happens, the planets sometimes appear to move in a backward motion or retrograde. From our perspective, this is what we call Mercury in retrograde. And I hate it personally. How about you?
Well, it's not pleasant for sure.
It seems to affect us in many, many ways, but we're going to talk about that. In 2023, Mercury will enter its retrograde 3 times, and that will be during retrograde motion during the following dates. This actually started, this one, the one we're in right now, started December 28th, 2022. Happy birthday, Diane.
Yeah, thanks.
And it runs through January 18th, 2023. And then it's April
Mhm.
21st to May 14th and August 23rd through September 14th. And it's a pain in the butt.
Because
It's the gentle term. It's a pain in the ass.
but here, yeah, there's a lot of people that don't even know about it. So are those the people it doesn't affect? I mean, that's what I'm wondering. Like, does it affect us because we believe in it?
No, the thing of it is if anybody follows the Farmer's Almanac, for example, they talk about retrograde in the Farmer's Almanac because it does have a physical effect on the Earth, the tides, um, all kinds of stuff that deals with farmers and people, all of us, not just farmers, but it has a negative effect. It's a proven fact in regard to that. So if it's in the Farmer's Almanac, it's got to be true.
Well, I guess so. Sure.
uh,
I don't. I know that Caitlin, our daughter Caitlin, is really physically affected by it, and she didn't even know it had started until I had mentioned it. She goes, "Oh my gosh, that just explains it so much," because she's actually affected by the retrograde shadow, they call it.
yeah, it happens
And
before. That happens
and
kind of before.
or like 1 to 2 days before retrograde and 1 to 2 days after retrograde, she will be almost laid up in bed with a horrible migraine,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure what else, but the migraine mostly. And it happens every single time. And she doesn't have to realize the dates that it's happening for it to happen.
Oh,
So
exactly. I mean, and we know it too. I mean, realistically, when stuff starts going wrong, which we'll talk about here in a few minutes,
yeah,
because it affects a whole bunch of things, including computers and dishwashers and
a lot of mechanical, a lot of
a whole
mechanical.
bunch of stuff. So let's help people understand a little bit more from a scientific perspective so they understand that as well. According to the Farmer's Almanac, the term retrograde comes from the Latin word, no, I may not say this correctly, word retrogradus, which literally means backward step. As the name suggests, retrograde is when a planet appears to go backward in its orbit. It's kind of an optical illusion from our perspective because we circle the Earth or circle the sun faster or slower than Mercury. Mercury goes a little bit faster than us, so that's kind of it makes it look like it's going backwards. As viewed from the Earth, astronomers refer to this as the apparent retrograde motion because it's an optical illusion, like I just said. The opposite of retrograde is direct or prograde motion, which is prograde, the term that astronomers prefer, while astrologers are more prone to use the term direct motion. Every planet in our solar system travels in the same direction in its journey around the sun, and none of them ever pause and turn back in the opposite direction, yet all of them appear to do just that from time to time. And that's kind of what happens like right now. It appears that that's happening. I really don't understand completely, and the stuff and the research that I had done really doesn't explain specifically why. So it's interesting because Mercury in retrograde. Now, I mean, I'm sure that you have this question like so many others. Um, how long does it last? Right?
Well, well, typically it seems to last. Well, I guess are they all different? I guess they are different. Some of them are
The,
like some of them are 2 weeks.
yeah, Mercury
Yeah.
in retrograde usually lasts about 3 weeks. This retrograde has a way of dredging up unresolved drama from your past, especially if you have a conversation that's been left on read for far too long. I'm not sure what that means, but on
Wait,
read. Lasting around 3 weeks, this retrograde has a way of dredging up unresolved drama from your past, especially if a conversation has been left on read for far too long. As Mercury begins its backward tailspin across the zodiac, it brings attention to situations that remain unsettled, providing you a platform to either gain closure and leave the past behind you or open it up to more crap, which I didn't know about. I didn't realize that, we had this opportunity during Mercury in retrograde to revisit things in the past that needed resolve. That's kind of
yeah.
cool, actually.
Maybe that's why it affects us so much because it's pushing us to do those things.
I
I don't
think
know.
either that or it's the scientific term for Murphy's Law. Murphy's
Yeah.
Law seems to follow us all over the place. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen to us.
So here's my question. If all the planets go into retrograde at one time or another, why is Mercury so the one that seems to wreak the most havoc? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that I don't know. I mean, it affects us uh, the way that at least the astrologers put it, and some of the other experts.
Mm.
It affects us when Mercury enters its retrograde. Some people believe that it has a strong influence on our cognitive thinking, emotions, and
Oh,
electronics. They say that
100%. Yes.
100%. They say that Mercury in retrograde can cause miscommunications, misunderstandings, impulsive decisions, frustrations, and more. Mercury in retrograde is also known to cause technological issues like computers, phones, and other electronics that can malfunction during this time, with some people reporting hiccups in the stock market. Now, we know that we have absolutely
Oh,
January 1st, which was what, you know, uh,
3 days,
25, 30, 20, 3 days after your
3 days, three
birthday or
days.
started.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 days after it started, my external hard drive that had everything on it, all of our photographs, our bills, our documents, all of these episodes, all the
The,
video, the audio,
the
com-
taxes.
the taxes completely took a dump. I mean, out of the blue, out of nowhere. I turned it on, went to do an interview, and went to access the templates and my overlays and everything. And as you know, because it just totally blew my mind, it was completely wiped and rewritten.
Yeah.
I
You were not happy. You
had
were,
no clue even how that happened. It was just out of the
yeah.
blue. It was Mercury in retrograde. Damn that Mercury.
Um, yeah, and then even this morning you had trouble with Siri. She won't listen to you at all.
Yeah, had trouble with that as well. I mean,
And
luckily, this is only going to last 3 or 4 weeks, but man, it's a hellacious 3 or 4 weeks. You know what I mean?
and then Lexi, who we call Lexi, but Alexa.
Well, and realistically, I know that the stuff that I did the research on, they said that it can affect us for the entire time period, depending upon how you are attuned to the universe,
Mm,
or it can affect you, just at certain specific times during that 3 week time period, or not at all for some people. Some people may not. As it relates back to your earlier question,
right.
is if some people, if they don't believe in it, does
or
it
don't even,
affect them?
or if they don't even know about
Or
it.
if they don't know about it, does it affect them? Well, we know that it affects them if they don't know about it because I didn't realize we were in Mercury and retrograde either until, you know, I started trying to figure out what the hell what happened to the hard drive, and now our dishwasher did the same thing. And a dishwasher is only what 5, 6 years old. It's not even
6 years.
that old.
Hmm.
Probably 6 years old, and we don't run it every day. You know, we
Hmm.
run it 2, 3 times a week, but we don't run it every day. So it's kind of one of those damn it
Oh, and then
moments.
what is it? The filter on the microwave, the brand new microwave. We've had the microwave, what, 2 months, maybe three
Probably
months.
2, 3 months max, maybe.
So now we got this red light saying reset filter. I didn't even know there was. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, shouldn't have done that. Well, the same thing with the speakers on the computer.
Yeah, the
Uh,
speakers on the computer have been. It's
freak,
just.
just freaking out. It's like
uh,
what the heck, man? You know, I just don't understand it. And you know, it is a situation that I think that in some of the research that I was able to locate that we do have ways of managing Mercury in retrograde. And now that we know more about it, and I realize that some of you out there may believe in it wholeheartedly. If you're listening to this podcast, you obviously know that we believe in the afterlife. We believe in the universe. We believe in the connection we all have to source. We believe in the planets and how
Angel
they
and angels.
and angels, and we know how they everything works together and in conjunction with. So I think from that perspective, obviously we believe in the way the planets align, that things can actually happen. That's the reason tides go when the moon gets pulled in closer, tides get screwed up, and you have higher tide and low tide at certain times when the moon is a different direction. We already know that. It's already in the Farmer's Almanac. People who, from ancient times, already knew all about that from that perspective. But we need to figure out how to manage Mercury in retrograde because, man, it screws with so many things.
I look back at other times when it was, and there's been some of them that didn't really have much effect. It seemed like, but this one, it's just it's like thing after thing after thing. And personally, for me, I have had the hardest time focusing and thinking and just oh, and then Agor, I think we've said this in another episode, but the time, like, and I don't know if this has anything to do with retrograde or not, but I feel like every day is only 4 or 5 hours long. It's like before I know it, it's time to go to bed, and I feel like I just got up and
Yeah,
I can't accomplish anything.
yeah. I think it screws with the time management as well. Um, how to manage Mercury in retrograde. I think that we all need a plan and we need some tips on how to take care of that. And now that we know a little bit more about it, we can find out that Mercury in retrograde has an opportunity for either revisiting the past, as I just said a little bit ago, and resolving some things, and or making sure that it doesn't affect us today. That leaves any unresolved issues that are going to come back in one of the other three that are happening this year. The key is to be mindful of potential influences and take extra precautions. For example, plan ahead, back up your data. I learned that lesson immensely, even though I never thought I would have to back up an external hard drive. Apparently, I have to back up an external hard drive during Mercury in retrograde. So, back up your data. And then, you're the same thing with your computer, your phones. They can malfunction. So, make sure that you back up even your phone. Don't don't pull a me, don't pull a Michael, because I didn't do either one of those, and I should have. And our phones are kind of messing up a little bit too, I think.
Hmm.
So it's important to make sure that all your important information is at least backed up, so that you
And
don't get to lose it.
I think it's probably better not to make really important decisions during this time, and probably not sign anything, any contracts, or you know,
At least any life changing contracts.
yeah.
Minor things might be okay. Minor things might be okay. You should also be extra patient, allow yourself more time to get things done, because as we have figured out, these days seem to be disappearing like the
Literally,
wind.
the vanishing hours.
Yeah,
It's
I think I'm the Flash. It's like phew, gone. It's
crazy.
crazy. Mercury in retrograde can make it harder to communicate and work quickly. So it's important to remember to take your time on things. Finally, try to be more mindful of your thoughts and your emotions because they can have a negative effect on yourself and those around you. I've been a little cranky myself, you know,
Oh, really? Have you?
really
Hmm.
be nice
Shock.
now. Remember,
Well,
be mindful of your thoughts and your emotions.
but I think that I mean, I think that's something we should be doing all the time, whether it's retrograde or not. We all, it's the hardest thing to do, but you have to find a way to tap into your source and
Yes.
always be aware of your emotions.
Yes.
And you're not feeling great, stop, figure out what you're feeling, and then pick something just a little bit better, and then feel that, and then pick something a little bit better. That's from Abraham Hicks. That they call it the emotional scale, I think is what they call it. But it's something you should do all the time, whether it's retrograde or not.
I agree with that. And the fact that be aware. Let me talk in English. Be cognizant of the fact that Mercury in retrograde can increase the likelihood of misunderstandings. So it's important to be mindful of what you're saying and how you're feeling about it because again, like you said, we should be doing this all the time anyway, but Mercury kind of emphasizes that so that, you can have a major misunderstanding show up or stood emotion
Hmm.
come up at the wrong time. And then unfortunately, it may not get resolved until the next Mercury in retrograde.
Or even just little. I noticed the last like 48 hours, you'll say something to me and I just completely misperceive what you're saying. Like, yeah,
It doesn't
it's
help you're going, na, 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 na.
like this, you mean? No, 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 no. I don't,
Yeah,
you're
that's
not.
it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Um, so yeah, I mean, it is. I think in the past that we've always been kind of aware. It's kind of weird that Caitlin didn't tell you because she usually tells us about Mercury in retrograde.
Brought it up to her when I was taking part in her stream. Yeah, she's a gamer, and her game, what do they call it? Hand. Anyway, it's Cait. No, it's Scarlet Kate, right? Oh gosh.
She just changed it, so I'm sorry, Caitlin. I can't remember
Darn.
what it is now.
She's on Twitch and she's on TikTok and she's on,
Scarlet Kate, I think.
I think it's Scarlet Kate. SCARLETCA. Search for that and you'll find her stuff. So anyway, she got followers, and I tuned into the stream, and she was having, oh my gosh, she kept getting kicked off, and it was a mess. It was and it's not usually like that at all. And it was just a mess, and she couldn't understand it. And I was in the chat and I said Mercury in retrograde, and she was like, oh, didn't even think about that. And then she was like, oh my gosh, that's why I had the migraine, and I can't believe I forgot it was coming. And yeah.
Well, that's the other thing. I think that people who are empaths and
Yes.
those of us that are empath and are more connected to the universe and those around us, I think
Mm,
Mercury in retrograde kind of has an extra little
yeah.
from that respect. So
Yeah.
we have to be more cognizant of that as well to make sure that we don't um, overstep our bounds in certain areas and understand stuff that's going to happen and back up your data,
Yeah. Um,
even if it's an external drive.
I am really curious why the other planets, especially like if from an astrological?
Astrological.
Is that okay? And that's the other thing too. Normal words just seem weird and not right.
Well, I
Okay,
woke up
because
this morning questioning whether or not we still lived at our address and had to run the number through my head 3 times to
did
see.
you really?
It went, is that right? Come on, I think it's right.
Well, I can't say I haven't done that either. Anyway, but I think I want to do some research on that.
Well, I mean,
How,
all the planets go into retrograde at some point. For some reason, Mercury does it because Mercury is closer to the sun and it moves at a different rate in the way, from what I understand, and it does it more often than other planets. And
yes,
in
I know. What I was trying to say was the our so like our astrological signs, right? We all have a ruling planet. So my question is why aren't we when our ruling planets go into retrograde, shouldn't we also feel that, or shouldn't that do something, whether positive or negative, shouldn't that have like an additional effect
I don't
is
know,
what
but
I
it's a really good idea to have another guest on the show
yeah.
to figure that out. I know that this particular Mercury in retrograde is affecting four signs, astrological signs in particular. One of them is Capricorn. Well, another
Yeah.
one, a lot of the ones Virgo, which is, our youngest daughter's a Virgo, and she's going through a bunch of crap herself
Yep.
in regard to that. Luckily, it's not affecting Libras, but I tend to disagree with that because of all the stuff that's gone on with my computer, my hard drives, my speakers, and
Well, I
stuff
think
like that.
when it's saying it's affecting four astrological signs the most this time, for me personally, I feel a lot more the cognitive aspect. I can't even, I cannot think straight to save my life right now. Like there's been things that have happened over the last few
Yeah.
days that I think I need to go get tested. Like it's that serious. Um, I don't think it's affecting Nikki that way so much, even though she's one of those four. What were the other two signs? Do you remember?
I honestly don't remember.
Yeah, I can't either.
Can't remember the other two signs. I just paid attention to Virgo and Capricorn because I think Gemini is one of them.
I might be one
Virgo,
of them.
Capricorn, Gemini, and then somebody else, something else.
Gemini's going through that because they're already kind of, split personality, right?
Yeah. And
Side,
forgive
side.
me for the other one that I don't know at the top of my head. Forgive me for that, for not
I didn't.
relaying
I
that
don't.
to you. What's
I
that?
didn't know. I didn't know if you still had that open on your computer or
I
saw
do
me.
not. I don't have it up on the computer at the moment. So forgive me if it did, if I you're expecting you and I wasn't able to tell you. But at least, no matter what sign that you're at, if you know that you're having some issues now and
I
you
could
didn't recognize that you're feeling a little off or that you're being, misunderstood or there's a miscommunication or your moods have kind of wacko or your computer screwing up or your dishwasher or your car or whatever the case may be, now you know what it is.
don't
It
put it out there about cars. Right now, we're okay. Don't put
knock
that out
on
there.
wood, Mercury, stay away, is going to be us. Well, here's what we can do to help, if it happens, when it happens. I won't say if, when it happens again and how to manage it. There's some tips that can help us sail through Mercury's in retrograde. Don't make any major decisions or life decisions while Mercury's in retrograde. As you said earlier, take some time for self care. So make sure that you are, because again, it affects you cognitively, your
Mhm.
thinking skills, your emotional skills. Make sure that you kind of do a little bit of self care, reflect, do a little meditation, maybe. Take a walk outside, enjoy nature. I wouldn't walk outside in lightning or if it's raining, because that may take a little bad turn.
Yeah.
Mercury maybe step into that. We don't want that to happen. Double check your technology and be prepared for any technical glitches. As I said earlier, please, and you should do this anyway. Back up your stuff, back up your data on your phones, back up your data on your computers, and I would say, lesson learned from me: back up your data on your external hard drives. It becomes expensive, time consuming to recover that kind of a data. And even when you feel that it shouldn't happen with an external hard drive, hello, Mercury in retrograde.
Mhm.
Kind of one of those things. Plan ahead and leave some extra time for any travel plans, just in case, because anything could happen. We went to the post office yesterday, and I told you that this woman bought tickets for her family to go someplace and then realized that her son passport was expired,
Hmm.
and she raced down to the post office to get it renewed, and was told that you can't get it renewed because your son is not a minor anymore. And I'm not mentioning any names, so we're good.
Wouldn't
Um, what's that?
we wouldn't know her name
We
anyway?
would know her name anyway.
Somebody that
Um,
was there.
but it was, she was panicking because she bought
Yeah.
tickets for everybody, the whole family, and the son was, now this is on her. The son is not a minor any longer. He's 20 years old.
His
So
passport had been a child's
a child's
passport.
passport. So that's something they should have paid attention to beforehand. But, she made travel plans and bought all the tickets before she went and checked. And now the guy at the post office said you may or may not be able to get your passport in because the travel plans were for 3 weeks from now. And if anybody's ever tried to get a passport, even expedited, it takes a lot longer than 3 weeks. So make sure you've got all your travel plans in place. Make sure you got everything that you need to do that. Be extra mindful of your communication and watch out for misunderstandings. We had one this morning a little bit. I had to clear up with our youngest daughter. Luckily, I was able to talk that through and we got it squared away. But, again, that's Mercury looking over my shoulder. Stay calm and take everything else in stride. Understand that we're just human beings and that Mercury in retrograde is not going to last forever. It's only temporary. We're going to get through it pretty soon. You have the opportunity to manage it and make sure that it doesn't come back and affect you or those around you, and realize that it is going to happen again 3 more times this year, actually. Are you sad?
Damn it. Yeah, can we plan to be like, I don't know, on a beach somewhere like in Greece for those times? That would be great.
I think southern France or Greece or
But
Tuscany.
then I have to get a passport. I don't have a passport.
Yeah, but we have time
Yeah, we better
before
start,
the next Mercury in retrograde.
or so we have to wait for this retrograde to end, start the passport stuff after that, and
Yes,
then ready for the next retrograde so I can be on a beach and I don't have to worry about anything.
yes. Because I think I'm going to go back and look at my notes really quick. What did I say? I said it was
When it
the.
ends.
Oh, there it is. This one ends January 18th. So keep that in mind. I say it
Oh,
doesn't last forever. January 18th, which seems like it's really far away from here. It seems like forever.
the way the days have been going, not that fast, not
Not
that
that
far.
fast. But the next one's April 21st, right after tax day.
Well, at least it's after,
It's
I
after
guess.
tax day. That runs through May 14th, and then August 23rd through September 14th. So, hey, we get it. It's before. It's before my birthday. It's before our anniversary. It's
Nikki's birthday.
before Nikki's birthday.
No, Nikki's birthday's in it.
Oh, Nikki's birthday's in it. It's before Caitlin's birthday. So before Christmas. So we should be good, pretty
At least,
much.
at least it's not during the holidays. The holidays are already stressful enough for
Stressful
people.
enough. We don't have to have that. So, keep in mind, again, you can manage Mercury in retrograde. You just have to be aware of it. Put it on your calendar. Mark it in something. Put a reminder on Alexa or Siri. Put a reminder someplace to say, hey, it's Mercury in retrograde. Be very careful.
Go to a beach, do
Go to a
nothing.
beach, do nothing, hide in a closet. Oh, it'd be like, Diane, what are you doing in the closet?
It's Mercury retrograde. Leave me alone.
Yeah, I'm
We'll
not
talk.
coming out till it's over. I'm just not. Oh, and on a second note, I know this is over the teacup Sunday, but since we talked about it last time, I am drinking a cup of Kona coffee.
Mhm. And you have been every day. Only one cup. Oh, okay, most days.
Most days, not every day, but most days I'll have at least one or something. And I
And
will tell
it's
you,
really the happiest you are during the day.
I haven't had coffee in about 23 years.
Yeah.
because I stopped coffee a long time ago. So, to retouch on that one episode about Kona coffee, I can absolutely say 100% unequivocally, absolutely worth the money. It's extra. It costs more than regular stuff. You got to get the 100% Kona coffee, not the blend, not get the stuff that's 10% or 12% Kona coffee. Get the 100%.
From
And it will,
Hawaii.
from Hawaii, it will make Retrograde go a
Easier.
little smoother.
Well, I don't drink coffee. It does smell really good. It smells really
It does smell really good, and it tastes really good. It doesn't leave any bitter taste in your mouth. So afterwards, which is what I remember from what I used to drink with coffee. And at the same time, though, my mother, she made coffee you could stand a spoon up in. So sorry, Mom. She's going to spit my coffee from the great beyond.
just like her mashed potatoes. Because
Just like the mashed potatoes, exactly. Yeah,
they
be
were,
careful with that. She'll say, Mercury in retrograde, you haven't heard about me from the other side yet.
yeah. Oh,
Oh, we
we have.
have, but one of those things. So anyway, that's today's episode. I'm sorry that it was running late. Sundays are unpredictable. We're here every Sunday. It may come early in the morning. It may come in the afternoon. It may come in the evening, but we always do a Sunday over the teacup or coffee cup, as we say today. And we hope that you have a wonderful week this week starting out. And stay tuned for some great episodes coming up during this next couple of months here. We've got some great guests that are coming in. We've got some more near-death experiences. We've got some more ghost stories. We've got some mediums coming in to talk about the other side, and some philosophical aspects coming in as well for the interdisciplinary nature of the world we live in and how we all kind of intermingle together in regard to all aspects of life. So I hope you guys like the new direction that we're going with One More Thing Before You Go. And keep in mind that we're also going to add a little bit of maybe some daily One More Thing Before You Go episodes that we can
Little mini,
touch. Little mini
little mini,
ones. A mini
mini.
me, a mini one more thing. But yeah, we're making a few changes that are going to be better for you guys and for, as you listen and as you can interact and connect with us and engage with us. We want you to be part of this conversation. So please subscribe, follow, join the newsletter, which will be coming out here in the next couple of weeks, our first one. For all of you that have already signed up for it, thank you for your patience. Obviously getting to understand and learn things. I was planning on having it out January 1st, but unfortunately, as we all know, Mercury in retrograde stepped in the middle of that and punted it across the other person's goal. So there will be a newsletter coming out soon. Please kind of get a hold of that and support us. We have a Buy Me a Coffee. We've got merchandise, and that's at the Before You Go podcast.shop and things like that. So please continue to support us. We love that you are part of our family.
And write to us. Give us some ideas of what you want.
What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? Maybe we'll
Yeah,
bring you on and be part of the show.
we can always use ideas.
Exactly. And again, if we use your idea, maybe we'll bring you in and you can talk about it as well. Join the conversation.
Mhm.
So that's it. Send me an email, Michael at onemorethingbefore-you-go.com. That's Michael at onemorethingbefore-you-go.com. And it's Michael. I know some people spell it EAL, but mine is Michael. And I look forward to it. So hope you have a great week, a great rest of your Sunday. Thank you for being part of our One More Thing Before You Go family. And we will see you on Wednesday.
Yeah, careful in retrograde.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of One More Thing Before You Go. Check out our website at beforeyougopodcast.com. You can find us as well as subscribe to the program and rate us on your favorite podcast listening platform.